Hello and welcome to the second episode of English to Takeaway. My name is Jordan from English Lingo, and I'm delighted to introduce my co host.
Oh, thanks, Jordan. My name is Richard. You might know me as the Grammar Goat from social media. Excited, Jordan. Episode number 2. Can't believe that we're on episode number 2. It's brilliant. Really
Yes,
happy to be recording again.
and episode number one was such a laugh that I'm sure this one is going to be just as good, if not better, hopefully. And our listeners, our viewers, if they're on YouTube, can take away some useful language once again. So I'm feeling exactly the same as yourself. I'm really excited to get my teeth into this episode.
Oh, nice expression. Early doors, Jordan. Brilliant.
There we go.
Yeah, I mean
Another
that's
one from you. Early doors as well.
Oh wow! I mean, that is the whole idea, isn't it? So who knows what we're going to talk about today? We've prepared a couple of stories to talk about, but who knows what we're going to talk about? Who knows what language is going to come up, and who
Yes,
knows the language that we can give everyone to take away at the end of the episode? So I'm excited.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. And how's your weekend going at the moment? Have you had a good weekend?
Yeah, thanks for asking. It's been a good weekend, thanks. Yesterday had a nice walk with my family. We like going on a daily walk, but especially at the weekend, like a longer walk. And yesterday evening had a really. I actually, as a family, we had a really nice takeaway. Can you
Ah,
guess? Can you guess like the type of takeaway that we might have had? It's a
I
very popular takeaway in the UK.
I, I want to go traditional, but I also want to say a Chinese.
Yeah, spot on, spot
Ah,
on.
okay, good. I was I was in between. I was torn between, are we going to go traditional fish and chips, or are we
Oh.
going to go the very popular one, which is a Chinese? Yes.
Yeah, no, true. And you've also got an Indian takeaway, haven't you, as well? Indian
Yes.
food as well, which is really
Yeah,
popular in the UK. So,
absolutely.
yeah. So it was a
Oh,
Chinese
great.
takeaway last night, which was really, really nice. Really
How
enjoyed it.
how often do you guys eat takeaways? This is quite an interesting, I think, question, because a lot of people feel that takeaway food can be quite expensive if you eat it a lot. But how often do you guys usually get a takeaway?
Yeah, probably a couple of times a month. I mean,
Hmm.
takeaways are quite expensive, aren't they? And my
Yeah.
kids are teenagers as well, so they do eat a lot of food. Um, And yeah, so not too often, maybe twice a month we'll get a takeaway. So yeah, and Chinese is definitely it's sort of British Chinese though, right? It's probably not the type of food that you'd get in China.
No.
It's the British Chinese food, but yeah, really love it actually. It's a nice treat
Mm.
on a Saturday night. How about you guys and your family? Tell me about your sort of takeaways. Are takeaways popular in the Philippines?
Well, the idea of getting it delivered, I think, is the most popular. So basically, we can order it through what they call Grab, similar to like Uber Eats, and it will get delivered. And some of the restaurants like around here actually offer like local delivery service anyway, and you might just have to pay, I don't know, like 50p more for delivery, something like that. But yeah, it's pretty good. I think we have the sort of traditional ones in the sense of like for Filipino food. A lot of it is like fried chicken. Chicken is hugely popular here. You can also get like pork as well. Sometimes that is like a rotisserie pork, which is called lechon. Um,
Wow.
you can get that to take away too. Um, so yeah, those are probably sort of the ones that are mostly popular. Then you do have like a few pizza places and things like that. But I would say that takeaways, yeah, not hugely. We don't really indulge in takeaways too much. Every now and again, it's good because saves cooking, and we can't be bothered to wash up, for example, and things like that, so it makes life easier. And yeah, it's not too expensive as well, which is nice. Like, comparing the prices here to the prices in England or in America and other places, we've got really reasonable prices, so we can afford to have them, maybe more often than we would in Japan or in the UK, I think. So, which is quite a nice treat as well, as you said.
Oh, that's great then, isn't it? That's really good. Very convenient as well. I mean, yeah,
Absolutely.
in the UK, sort of takeaway food culture is huge now with
Mm,
people on bikes, as you mentioned, like Uber Eats and all of those companies. So yeah, there are pedal bikes everywhere,
mm,
motorbikes, scooters everywhere, with people delivering food, especially in London. They're literally everywhere. So yeah, that sort of convenience nowadays of being able to have your meals and have your food delivered to your house is very very popular.
absolutely. Do you order like from um, any of these kind of like Food Panda or Grab? Oh, no, not Grab. You don't have Grab. Uber Eats. I mean, do you order from any of those, or are you not really a customer of them?
Yes, sometimes rather dangerously, my son had my credit card on his phone, like Apple Pay. So yeah, quite often sort of a sandwich or a, a fried chicken meal would sort of arrive at the house, and I'd be like, "Wow, where's this come from?" And so I quickly put stop to that anyway, but because it was
Absolutely.
getting expensive. But yeah,
Yeah.
not too often, to be honest, with the takeaways. Yeah, not too often. Jordan, what about you? How was your Saturday? What did you get up to?
So yeah, yesterday was a pretty chilled out day, really. We we didn't really do a huge amount. We went to the farm, checked on the baby goat that we've got, and made sure that we fed him, because yeah, he needs like to be hand fed sometimes, which yeah, maybe people think, "Like, why are you hand feeding a goat?" Um, but yeah, we are sometimes hand feeding him because um, the mother doesn't really produce a great deal of milk, unfortunately. So we have to supplement that with our own activities of feeding him. Um, and he's grown rather attached to my daughter
Wow.
now. He follows her everywhere, and if she goes and sits inside like his little pen area, he will jump onto her lap and sit there with Sophia, my daughter. And yeah, he chases her up and down, kind of like the little hallway that they have. So yeah, he's quite a character, actually. He's really fun to watch, and yeah, to be around. So um, that was about it, really. And then yesterday afternoon, um, we kind of just came back home and relaxed a little bit. We watched a bit of TV. So yeah, nothing too exciting, which is good. I needed I needed a little bit of a relaxation after last week's
Of course, the
airport
who could forget the
episode, so to
chickens,
speak.
picking up the chickens from the airport? Amazing! What a story! I just wanted to ask about the goat. What is the baby goat's name?
Absolutely.
Because obviously I have an affinity with goats. What's the baby goat's name?
Ah, yes. So we decided to call it quite a strong Greek name because he hopefully he will be one of our top male
Wow,
goats.
what a name! He's
His
got a
name
lot to
is
live up
Zeus.
to, hasn't he? With that name, amazing.
Yes, yeah. So we decided to call him that, and yeah, hopefully he'll grow up to be yeah incredibly big, strong, and yeah, quite a nice character. Not
It
too,
sounds like he's very
not too aggressive.
tame
Hopefully,
already, sort of sitting with your daughter and following her. That's amazing.
yeah. We want this to be sort of a pattern because goats are notorious for being very difficult to handle. So there are a couple of ones that we have that if you want to try and lead them out, they might try to butt you. They might try to be a little bit too aggressive with you, and we're trying to rear these new goats that we have to be a little bit more tame, easier to handle. So hopefully in the future they can be easily led around, and
Yeah,
we can do
that's really
what we want
good.
with them.
Probably,
Basically,
do you have like Philippines Got Talent on TV in the Philippines? You know, like Britain's Got Talent, America's Got Talent. Do you know about this, Jordan? This TV show?
we have Asia's Got Talent, I believe, which I think encompasses uh, a lot of different countries, maybe Malaysia, Singapore, Japan, Philippines. So yes, we do have those talent shows. Yeah,
Where I'm going with this is, might see you in a couple of years on Asia's Got Talent with, you're the incredible Zeus, the goat, doing all these tricks, jumping through hoops. You never know. He sounds like quite a character already as a little goat.
absolutely. I might send my daughter on there. She can probably deal with that one, and maybe
Yeah.
create a choreographed routine that she can do with him.
Yeah, perfect. There you go. Well, watch this space, everyone. Yeah,
There we
absolutely,
go.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
And what are your plans for your Sunday, Jordan? What are you up to today?
So I think a little bit later on, we're probably going to have a walk along the beach, as we only live a stone's throw away from the beach. Literally, we can walk out my door, and the beach is not even a minute away. So we
Really?
can, yeah. Like we're on practically on the beach. Yes,
Wow.
so we can walk along the beach probably a little bit later on. It's usually really nice sunset. Sometimes when it's clear and it's not raining, things like that, and yeah, hopefully we can have a little bit of a walk along there and just see a nice sunset. It's quite a nice feeling actually.
That sounds amazing. So presumably it's a sandy beach or a stony beach?
You're right, it is sandy, but it's
Sandy.
not. It's not the. It unfortunately it's not like the picturesque white sand that many people will probably image and associate with the Philippines. We do have some white sand beaches nearby, but this one is not a white sand beach. But nevertheless, it's very good.
Yeah, and can you go can you swim in the sea? It's presumably it's safe to swim and there's no dangerous
Yes.
currents. It's yeah, you can
Yeah.
go swim whenever you want.
It's wonderful. Like this area here, it's absolutely amazing to go snorkeling. So my daughter and I, we often go snorkeling, and you can see some like small like reefs, corals, and which are home to some really interesting fish. And if you go a little bit further out, then you will see seagrass, and that's a good feeding ground for green turtles.
Really?
Yes, yes,
Wow.
yeah. So around here, I think there are maybe around like four or five regular local green turtles that come and feed on the seagrass, which is kind of cool.
That's amazing. So I guess you and your daughter, you must be very strong swimmers, are you, to be able to go out and swim quite far out? Are you, are you quite a strong swimmer?
I was definitely a very strong swimmer until I had a really bad injury mountain biking, where I dislocated my shoulder. And since then, I'm very cautious of not going out too far, just because I don't want to get into any trouble if my shoulder comes out again. But yeah, we like to go out. We like to try and swim as far as like we want to, and try to push the limits a little bit in terms of getting my daughter to practice and be more confident. So yeah, that should be a good one. I think she's getting more and more confident, which is nice.
That's amazing. Yeah, I think you're so lucky, aren't you, to live so near to the sea and to the beach. And yeah, it
Absolutely.
sounds amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I also live quite near the sea, but it's not. It doesn't sound as picturesque and as beautiful as your sea. There are no green turtles
Ah.
swimming in the sea. Probably some other things floating in the sea. Probably that we wouldn't talk about because yeah, the beaches and the sea near where I live are not the cleanest, to be honest. So
Yeah.
um,
It
yeah, it's
is it
different.
quite cold? Like, do you ever go for a dip in the sea? Like, are you able to go and have a little bit of a swim in there? Is it quite cold usually?
It's normally absolutely freezing, to be honest. Um, you do get people that swim all year round. They go
Really?
swimming. Sea
Wow.
swimmers.
Yeah,
You see them, which is amazing, isn't it? And which is a hobby and a sport in itself, right? Isn't
yeah,
it? Sea swimming and being able to put up with the cold. Your body can put up with that cold water.
absolutely.
I
Do
can't. I'm a wimp, so I couldn't even dip my toe in.
do
Um,
do you have like um the annual like sort of crazy people that go for a swim? I say swim, like usually they leg it into the sea on New Year's Day.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, you get on New Year's Day, especially. Yeah, people running into the sea and swimming and splashing around in the sea, but it's very, very cold.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Um,
I wouldn't want to do that.
no, no. I mean, the whole thing about cold actually is quite interesting. Cold water, because there's quite a craze in England now with these ice baths.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know if you've seen. Have you seen these online? People
Absolutely.
put them in their garden, don't they? And they film themselves at sort of 4:30 in the morning, cracking the ice with a hammer and then jumping in.
Yeah.
Um, I've never tried it. It's meant to be incredible for your body, for your mind. I've never tried it. Have you ever tried anything like that, Jordan?
Not really. No, I'm also interested in it, and I think it's kind of in a way it's the it's something that's coming from maybe Scandinavia, where they go into like the saunas, and then they go into like the sort of the ice baths that they have as well. I've seen those, and everybody that has tried it has come away and said, "Oh my god, it's so good! It's really refreshing. It's it wakes up everything that your sort of sensories need to wake up, really." So
Yeah.
um, I would love to give it a go, absolutely. But yeah, I've not had the chance to, unfortunately. Do you know anyone that has like an ice bath in their garden?
I know someone with a pond in their garden. Not quite the same, I guess. I don't actually. One of my mates, one of my friends, he swears by a cold shower every morning. So
Right.
whilst I love a hot shower, to wake me up, my
Yeah.
friend, he always has an ice cold shower every morning. He
Wow.
swears by it. He says it's amazing. It invigorates his body and mind, and he loves it. So, but yeah,
Interesting.
I've never been brave enough to try that, to be honest. But yeah, I would love to try the ice bath thing and the hot and the cold thing.
Yeah.
I'd love to try that. It sounds incredible, doesn't it?
Well, I've heard amazing things like about the. I never knew about the saunas. So and maybe interestingly, a lot of people might be quite surprised at the pronunciation of sauna. We often hear the pronunciation being sauna, but yeah, in British English we often say sauna. It's amazing for your heart.
Hmm.
It's very preventative in a lot of things like heart attacks, heart disease. I think it can also help with that a little bit as well. Blood flow is
Hmm.
increased, and I was astonished by how good the saunas are supposed to be. So yeah, like yourself, I'm very very intrigued into that kind of thing. I would love to try the sauna or the hot, and then the ice bath, the cold, and see how it sort of changes your feeling, and whether it does wake you up like people do say. I'm definitely interested in it. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm tempted to say we should both try the cold shower idea before the next episode. I'm not sure. Would you be up for that?
Absolutely. I'm definitely up for cold showers in the morning. Sounds good.
All right. Okay. I'll try it as well. We'll feed back to each other our our pain or our joy at the ice cold shower in the next episode, I reckon.
If we've both got sniveling colds, then you'll understand the reason why. Um,
Yeah. Exactly, and our wives might be a bit annoyed as well with the screams coming from, the
a-
bathrooms as we turn on the
absolutely.
showers. Yeah, yeah. Um,
Very
anyway,
true.
going back to the beach and where you live. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds amazing. Snorkeling and swimming in the sea. Can you swim in the sea all year round in the Philippines? I suppose with the climate being so sort of warm and pleasant.
Yep. I believe so. I don't think. I don't think there are any times of the year when they have like an abundance of jellyfish, for example. I know in some areas that this happens, that you might get a change, and then you get jellyfish where you shouldn't go swimming, of course. But here it seems to be like an all year round thing. We can go, no matter what the season, what the month. Yeah, it just seems to be pretty pretty normal, pretty standard for the whole year. Actually, we're lucky, I think, because our temperature doesn't really fluctuate a huge amount. So we're probably have an average. We probably have an average around, I want to say, between 29 and 31 degrees throughout the whole year.
Wow.
Um, so sometimes, of course, it goes up a little bit. It might drop a little bit when we have storms and the rainy season. But yeah, all year round, like the weather is pretty good, the climate's pretty good, and it allows us to go in the sea as much as possible, actually, which is really nice. Very, very fun
Yeah.
indeed.
Yeah, it sounds incredible. What about things like sharks, Jordan? Do you do you have sharks? Is that, is it possible to sort of
Yeah.
be doing a backstroke and suddenly you see a fin sort of swim past you?
There are sharks. You're absolutely right. But I think they're not usually too close to the shore. You got to go out. We were on a boat a couple of months ago, and one of the people on the boat saw a shark swimming, and yeah, that was really interesting.
Yeah.
There are whale sharks that are around, not where I live, but kind of around this region. So you can see some whale sharks that are massive, massive creatures. Um, and another area has dolphins. Yeah, so there are a lot of amazing marine wildlife around here, marine life, and yeah, you can be lucky enough to see them and find a lot of different species, of course. So yeah, if you're into that kind of thing, then yeah, it's definitely a good place to come.
Yeah, I definitely am. I love marine life.
Oh, good.
Really, so yeah, no, the Philippines sounds like an incredible destination actually to visit. It really does.
Have you
Um,
ever been to the Philippines?
no, never been. It's definitely on my bucket list of
Mm.
places to visit. Yeah, no, so maybe next year. Who knows? We could end up doing the podcast together
On the beach.
on the beach. Yeah, yeah, amazing. That would be incredible, wouldn't
That would
it?
be funny. Yeah, that
Yeah,
would be a good laugh if it was on the beach.
yeah. Um,
Indeed.
all right. Shall we get into stories now? Shall we move
I'd
into
love
the
to.
stories section?
Yeah, please.
Shall I go first?
Please do. Yes. Let's hear your story for this week.
Yeah, so the story I found this week in the news, it's quite a futuristic sort of topic. So, did you see the Elon Musk Tesla launch of a few
Yes.
really exciting, well, products or sort of technologies this week? The Cybercab really
Yes.
took my imagination. Did you see this in the news and
I
social media?
I saw a couple of clips. I'll be honest with you. I didn't really watch a great deal of it. I just saw a few sort of snippets of it. But yeah, I haven't really sort of studied it, and I haven't really read about it too much. But a lot of people are talking about it. Yes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So the Cybercab is essentially a self-drive car
Mm,
that is, he says, is going to revolutionize transport. So self-drive cars. You get in your car, you fall asleep, or you do some work, wake up, or close your laptop, and you arrive at your destination. But the interesting thing about that also was they were talking about how at the moment, your car just sits
mm.
outside your house when you're not using it or on your drive, but with these cyber cabs, when you're not using the car, it goes out and it earns you money by
Wow.
taking other people on
Wow.
trips and journeys, which was
That's
quite
cool.
interesting. And yeah, when I was thinking about, would you trust to sit in a self-drive car? They used the example of like an elevator, or
Mm,
or a lift, as we'd say in British English.
yes.
We get in a lift and it shuts, and we go up and down
Yeah.
without anyone really operating it. So it's kind of the same principle getting into a car. I know a lift only goes up and down a
Yeah.
car,
Yeah.
but anyway, it was just interesting to hear about this. What
Absolutely.
what what are your thoughts, Jordan, on self-drive cars and cybercabs in the
I think that's
future?
fascinating. I agree with I agree with yourself. Like I think really fascinating, and kind of the idea, as you mentioned, about the car going out and making you money and things like that. That's really innovative and cool, right? You're able to make a little bit of extra money probably from people using it, rather than your car sitting on the driveway collecting dust, doing nothing. So I like that solution. That's kind of cool. But I don't know about the self-driving style, and I'm worried about the. I'm worried about sort of how accurate they can be, and judging distances and preventing collisions, things like that. So, as much as I would love to actually have one and get in one every day, there's an element there of fear of what happens if the software doesn't work, what happens if you know something goes a little bit array and the accuracy is not as accurate as it should be. I don't know. Like, how about yourself? Would you trust it 100%?
Absolutely not. No, I think it's going to be like a generational thing as well, isn't it? Because by that time, we'll be, maybe not, maybe we won't be granddads, but we'll be older gentlemen, won't we? We
Yes.
probably won't trust this new technology. We won't like it. Whereas younger kids and teenagers, they'll be
Yeah.
growing up not knowing anything different, so they'll happily sit in a self-drive car,
Mm,
not even thinking about it. So
absolutely. But
me personally,
one thing that I think may be a little bit sad, I don't know whether or not you agree, is that it might make people, I mean, the younger generation, not want to drive anymore. So the number of people actually learning to drive would probably decrease, and we wouldn't have, of course, an abundance of people knowing how to drive vehicles anyway. Um, I kind of feel that that's a bit of a sad thing to lose, because for me, driving, like learning to drive, the skill of driving has been amazing. It's been wonderful. I love driving, and um, yeah, I think it's a great skill to have. So to lose that sort of opportunity for a lot of people to actually drive, I think might be a little bit of a sad situation, really.
yeah, no, definitely, undoubtedly. They also argue that it's going to make cities cleaner and safer, and
Ooh,
it's going to lower the cost of transport and owning a car. Um, but yeah, I mean, I agree. There's joy, isn't there, from driving? Again, maybe it's a generational thing, but I agree. Driving is so enjoyable. I mean, how old were you when you learnt to drive, Jordan?
I started on my 17th birthday. Um,
Yeah.
as soon as I was 17, I had my first ever driving lesson. Actually, it was it was awesome. I was looking forward to it for a long, long, long time, and yeah, as soon as I hit 17, I I just wanted to learn how to drive as quickly as possible. It was something that I needed to do. What about yourself? How old were you when you started driving?
Yeah, the same. I was 17. Yeah, 17 years old, which is really, it's really young, isn't it? If you think
It is.
about it, looking
Yeah.
back. But yeah, I loved the sense of freedom
Mm.
when I passed my test. I passed second time actually. I didn't pass my driving test first time.
Okay.
Um, so I passed my test second time, and I just remember the feeling of freedom. I sort of used to drive my dad's car. I didn't
Right.
have my own car. So yeah, just taking my dad's car out for a drive. I mean, it was an amazing feeling. I remember as a 17
Absolutely.
year old. How about you? What was your first car? Do you
Oh
remember?
God, my first car was a small little Citroen AX. I don't know if anybody knows of them. Probably not. Um, yeah, they from a safety point of view, I think they were probably one of the worst cars that you could probably get. If you hit anything, they would crumple up like a piece of paper. Um, but yeah, it was same as yourself. It was freedom. It was the sense of I can go and do what I want when I wanted. I was able to at the time go to college, and then during my long breaks I would go and head to the gym, or I would go to my workplace. I used to work at a supermarket, so I could do things much more easily. It was yeah, it was really good actually. It opened up a lot of doors for me. So what was your first car when you eventually got your own?
Yeah, my first car was a Nissan Almera.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
which was, I mean, as first cars go, I guess it was quite a nice first car actually.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I used to love driving that.
cool.
Yeah, I was just thinking, because we were talking about food and deliveries and food deliveries. I guess in the future, if you fancy a takeaway pizza, you'll be able to send your car down to the local pizza restaurant to pick up the pizza and then drive it back to you, right? So it's going to
Yeah.
make people even lazier, I guess, than they are now, right? Amazing.
Absolutely. I think gone gone of the days where people like walk to the local shops and everything like that. They usually drive to the local shops, even if they're only like a couple of minutes down the road. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Send out your car and pick up a few things and bring them back. Of course. Yeah, that's going to be a big change, a massive, massive change, I think. But yeah, interesting. I don't think it will change too quickly, but it certainly is. It's interesting, but there's an element of scariness as well to it. I think, yeah, for me
Agree.
anyway. Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
um, it's one of those things where I would like to see it in action, but do I really want it? Do I really need it? I don't know. Um, I always think that there's AI is good, but there's also an element where I'm scared of AI a bit as well. So I have mixed feelings about it sometimes.
Yeah, interesting. So, Jordan, what was your story this week? What have you
Okay,
chosen to talk about?
so I wanted to share an I. Oh, on. So I wanted to share a story about a hotel experience, because we were touching on sort of experiences last week and talking about hotels and things. So it reminded me of an experience that I had, unfortunately, in London, of all places. So in my own country, I had a terrible hotel experience. Um, so I arrived at the hotel in London, and this hotel was not really easy to find. It didn't stand out. It didn't make itself known to customers. And actually, my friend, he was the one that booked this hotel. He said it's pretty cheap. It's in a good location. I'll book it. I said, yeah, sure, no problem. Sounds good to me. Um, so we arrived, and the first thing that I noticed is that nobody was there to greet you. It was empty. The front desk was an empty existence, and you're waiting and waiting, and nobody turned up. And then, okay, you press the bell that they had there, and someone trudged out, as if to say, "Why are you bothering me?" So I so yeah, I let that go. That's no problem at all. And then we get into the rooms. He goes to his room, I go to my room, and I notice immediately the hit of the smell of my room, and it's that chlorine smell of, like somebody's been cleaning, deep cleaning something. And I open the bathroom, and my eyes start watering because of the fumes. I couldn't use the bathroom. It was unusable. It was
Really?
absolutely, yeah. The the smell was so bad that I couldn't even take a shower in there, because it was, they had used so much cleaning product. It was horrendous. Um, and then I went to basically close the window, because the window had been left ajar, to presumably let the fumes out, I would imagine. Um, and then I went to go and close the window and realized that the window wouldn't close. Um, and you're trying to close it and it's broken. Bearing in mind, the hotel is fully booked. It's in the middle of December and it's -6 outside. So
Wow.
you can imagine how blinking cold it was in that room. Yeah, safe to say that wasn't the nicest of sleeps that I've ever had, because it was freezing. I had to sleep in that room with the window open and being -6 outside. Yeah, luckily we woke up early in the morning and we left pretty sharpish, to be honest. We I didn't want to stay there any longer. It was yeah, a really terrible experience, actually.
It sounds like a absolutely horrendous hotel, Jordan. Sounds awful. Yeah.
Yeah. I genuinely, I've forgotten the name. I really don't know the name of it now. It was so many years ago, but yeah, it definitely wasn't worth it. Yeah, I realized that if I'm going to book a hotel, then I'm going to do it myself. I'm not going to let my friend do it for me. I, I tried that. That definitely didn't work. So I'm going to take responsibility and book book all of my hotel rooms from now on. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's yeah, not a fun experience when you have that kind of stay, unfortunately. So no, not good at all.
No, exactly. I remember once I stayed in a hotel when I was a student. It was in
Mm,
Mexico when I was living in Mexico and studying Spanish, and I was traveling around Mexico with my two best friends, and Yeah, we stayed in a few pretty interesting hotels, but probably the worst hotel. I remember we were all going to sleep, so obviously we had quite a small room with three single beds, and I think I was on one side, my one of my friends in the middle, and then the other friend on the other side, and we turned the lights off, and about 30 seconds after we turned the lights off, there was a scream, and it was my friend in the middle bed. And basically, there was a hole in the wall right behind where his pillow was, and like a flood of cockroaches.
Oh,
Like the horrible
yeah, yeah,
insects
yeah,
with
yeah,
the
yeah.
uh, a flood of cockroaches, or it could have been a family of cockroaches. I don't know. Had decided to the lights had gone off. They ran out of their home, I guess, in the wall, and ran all over his pillow and all over his head, and
Wow.
yeah. So
Wow.
I'm not a big fan of creepy crawlies and
Yeah.
especially cockroaches. So I remember getting my mosquito sort of net out and setting that up over my bed. It made it very, very hot, but I was just like that for the whole night in my bed,
Absolutely.
hoping that no cockroach would get in.
Yeah. Oh, that's horrendous. That is really, really
Yeah,
bad. Wow. But did your friend actually sleep after that? Like, was he able to sleep after that kind of experience?
I'm not sure that he got a good night's sleep that night, and I mean, we played lots of pranks on him after that with
Oh no.
buying fake spiders and leaving fake bugs and leaving stuff in his bed, for
Yeah.
him to find when he would, so yeah, we played lots of really funny pranks on him after that. Yeah, so that was my horrendous hotel story.
Wow.
Um,
Wow. That's yeah. Not. It ruins, like, I suppose in some situations it ruins the experience, of course. Sometimes, of course, when you have a bad experience, you can actually laugh it off, and it can be quite quite a funny story at the end of it. But sometimes it can actually ruin the whole holiday if you're on holiday, for example. So yeah, it's definitely not one that I want to repeat.
No, absolutely not. It's interesting that you talked about hotels. Actually, we were lucky enough to get a few emails this week. Actually, after the first
Ah,
episode of the
yes.
podcast, we got a few different suggestions for how we can help people with their English. One was someone that works in a restaurant, so it's customer service. And the other one was an email from Miguel in Mexico about
Uh-huh.
hotels.
Oh,
He's
cool.
a front desk manager, I guess you could say, in a hotel, and
Right,
he was asking for help with more, I guess, formal English,
right.
to deal with maybe a difficult customer, a difficult client at the
Yes,
hotel. So
cool.
maybe we should do a hotel role play this week. What do you think?
Sounds like a good plan to me. Yeah, and I think showing how to use the sort of formal English in this situation would be great. Absolutely, I would love to try and help Miguel with this situation. That sounds great, indeed.
Okay, okay, cool. Who do you want to be? Do you want to be the difficult client, or do you want to be the
Yeah,
front desk?
I
You want to
I
be
I, I kind of want to be the difficult customer, to be honest. Yes.
okay. This is almost therapy for you, isn't it? After your
Yes.
horrendous hotel
I've I've
experience.
I've been waiting for this opportunity.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my god. Right, I'll have to. I'll prepare myself now. All right, let's get ready for the onslaught of your insults. Um, okay,
Absolutely. All right.
should we? Let's go for it then. So, Hi, good morning, sir. How are you today, and how did you sleep?
No, I slept terribly. It was horrible. I wanted to ask you about your mattresses, your beds, because they were so uncomfortable. I couldn't get comfortable at all the whole night. I was tossing and turning, and yeah, I I would probably say that I slept less than a couple of hours. So yeah, is this usual? And have you had problems with people complaining about your mattresses before?
Well, first of all, sir, I'm terribly sorry to hear that you've had such a terrible night's sleep. It's not normally the case that guests find our mattresses uncomfortable, so I'm really not sure what has happened with the mattress in your room. I'll send housekeeping up immediately to your room, sir, to check the mattress, and we will definitely change the mattress for you this morning to make sure you get a better night's sleep this evening.
Right.
We'll also add a complimentary basket of fruit to your room, just yeah, to show that we're terribly sorry about that.
Okay. Yeah. That's all good. Thank you. But to be honest with you, I'm really not happy with paying so much money for staying one night and not even you know getting much sleep. So can can you give me any discount off of my bill, because I paid to be well rested, and I'm clearly not. So can you actually take last night's stay off of my total bill?
Let me just check your reservation, sir. Yeah, I can see that you've got 5 nights with us. Let me talk to my manager about this, and we'll find a resolution. We'll get back to you very shortly about a discount or what we can do to make your stay with us even better for the remaining nights.
If if you cannot, then what I would like to do is cancel the rest of my reservation, and find another hotel, because um, clearly this is unacceptable, and I'm not happy with last night's situation, to be honest.
No, sure. Can I ask what exactly was the problem with the mattress, sir?
It felt like something was poking me in the back. I don't know whether something happened to the mattress and it's possibly broken, but I just felt a pain throughout the night. And it was, yeah, ridiculously uncomfortable. So if this can be resolved, and if you can take last night's off of my total, then I would be a little bit happier and willing to stay for the duration of the reservation.
Of course, sir. I'll speak to the manager about this, and as I said, I'll send housekeeping up immediately to check your mattress and, of course, to change the mattress. I'm also happy to offer you a complimentary massage in our spa. We can book that in for you later today. Just to give you some massage in your back and make sure you're nice and relaxed for this evening and
Okay.
for tonight.
Okay. Yeah. That sounds great. So my room number is 311.
Yeah. I've got
And
your room number here, sir. No
Okay,
problem.
great. And yes, I would like to accept the spa reservation. Could you make it for around 3 p.m. today, please?
Yes, no problem. Three p.m. That will be with Dominic, who's one of our experienced masseurs. So I'll book that in now for you, sir.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you very much indeed. And yeah, thank you very much for understanding and dealing with the situation as well as you have. So thank you very much indeed.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Well, that was
Right.
interesting. you were totally in character there. But what I liked was you were still so polite. You know, the British, we are
Yes.
generally so polite, even when we're really angry and annoyed. We still manage to be quite polite, don't we?
We can be, yeah, you're absolutely
We
right.
can
Yes.
be.
Yeah. Um it's yeah, it's all about, like, sometimes it's the cliche example of someone bumps into you and you say sorry. Uh
Yeah, exactly. Sorry for being in your way. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
exactly.
Sorry I didn't move out of your way there. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I think but I also, when I teach for a lot of people who go to other countries, I often say that if you're polite, you usually get much better customer service, right?
Yeah.
If you're rude, if you're quite brash with people, they can often not care about your complaint, and they sometimes might not even help you as much as they would if you were being quite polite. So yeah, I like to be stern, but also a little bit more polite in those situations, of course. Indeed. So
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
hopefully that helps Miguel. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
And your character of, you know, using amazing formal language like, oh yes, I'm sorry sir, or I'm sorry mister, and then the last name really really helps diffuse the situation. Sometimes I think if you're if you remain calm and collected, then the angry person has to kind of follow that sort of demeanor sometimes as well. As much as it's very difficult to do, but I think
Yeah.
yeah, I think that kind of way of portraying the receptionist or the front desk person is very very good indeed. So yeah, it's awesome.
No, I agree. No, so Miguel, hopefully that has helped you a little bit. I'd be interested, Miguel, to hear how you think I did as a front desk manager. Did I, did I do a good job? But hopefully there are some useful expressions in there that that Jordan and I both used in the role play that you can take away and that you can use. Which I guess Jordan leads us on to the final part, right? The English to
Yes,
take away. Um,
100%, absolutely.
yeah.
Did
Do
you
you,
have
do you want me?
any vocabulary?
Yeah. Do you want me to start? Because we normally do five, don't we?
Yeah,
Five items.
yeah. Go
Five
ahead, please.
items of vocabulary. You used a lovely idiom today when you were talking about the beach.
Okay.
You live very near the beach, so you
Yes.
live a stone's throw
Hmm.
from the beach. So this
That.
is a great idiom, and I think probably different languages have different versions of this idiom.
Yes.
Um, in
Yeah.
Polish, they say it's like a hat's throw, I
Oh,
think.
right. Okay.
Not a stone.
Right.
So I think yeah, different languages have different versions. But yeah, so
Oh,
to be
interesting.
a stone's throw from, to be
Yes.
near, right?
Absolutely. And
Um,
following that idiom, you, I think, then in return replied with a very good, um I don't know, maybe it is an idiom. You said early doors as well,
mm,
which is a great phrase to use, meaning that something happened very early on in a sequence of events. Maybe that's a party, maybe that's a podcast, maybe that is a football match, for example. You can say that, oh, he got a yellow card early doors, meaning that he got a yellow card very early into the football match. So Yeah, that's also another great phrase to use when you want to say something happened early on.
Nice, nice. Well, that's two already we've done. That's brilliant.
Indeed.
I had another one when you were talking about your horrendous hotel room, and you said the window was ajar. So
Mm,
a jar is a lovely adjective, isn't it? That means slightly open.
yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
a door can be ajar, or a window can be ajar. So a little bit open. I
That's
thought that
right.
was a nice adjective.
Yes. And I think I like the one which you used when you were talking about going into the sea, I believe, and it being too cold. You said that you are a wimp in this case. It's a great word that is used to describe someone that is not very brave. They don't they don't do something because they are a little bit afraid or they're worried about something. So we often say is that that person is a wimp because they don't do it, of course. So yeah, I like that vocabulary. I think that was really good.
Wimp can be used almost in like a joking way as well, can't
Hmm.
it? So don't be a wimp.
Yeah.
Say if you've got one of those, the hottest crisps in the world, the really really hot
Yeah,
crisps. Say, come on, try it. Don't be a wimp.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's almost used in a jokey way as well. Um,
Absolutely, indeed.
the last one I had was a nice one that you said when you said um, to run into the sea.
Right.
You didn't say run into the
Mm.
sea. You said leg it
Oh yeah,
into the
yeah,
sea. So to leg it means to run, doesn't it?
yeah. To sprint, kind of
Yeah.
in that fashion. Yes, absolutely. And is it mostly used in the UK? Is it predominantly a British phrase?
I think maybe it is. Yeah, I'd say it's even sort of slang, isn't it? It's very informal to leg
Very
it,
much.
and
Yes.
it's sometimes used to mean like to run away or to escape, isn't it? So
Ah,
um,
yeah,
let should we go? Yeah, let's leg it. Let's run
yeah,
away. Maybe if you've done something wrong. I don't know. I
yeah.
can imagine as a kid, if you're playing football in the street and you kick the ball and you smash a window and you say to your friend, "Let's leg it." So let's
Yeah,
run away.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I think it is
absolutely.
probably British slang, isn't it? I would say.
I would say so. Yeah, I don't really remember hearing it from any American teachers or American friends that I've had. Yeah, for me, I believe it is predominantly from the UK. So yeah, it's interesting how we have some nuanced phrases just for England sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. And we'd always say leg it. We wouldn't say leg, would we? We wouldn't
No,
say leg
no,
into the sea. Leg
yeah.
it into the sea. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So or they're kind of like I suppose some of the slang language that we use is very much associated with like collocations, isn't it? We have to use it in that form. It doesn't get changed into any other form. We use it in a sort of a set phrase
Yeah.
structure as well. So yeah, it's that learning those kind of words or those kind of phrases definitely yeah help with understanding British slang language, of course.
Yeah,
Indeed.
nice. So
Awesome.
let's just recap, shall we? So we had
Yes.
to live a stone's throw from.
Hmm.
We had a jar.
A jar. Yep. We
We
had early
had
doors.
early doors. We had a
Wimp.
wimp
Yep.
and Leggett.
And Leggett. Those are the five. That's it.
Nice,
That's
nice.
perfect. Awesome. And of course, if you have any questions or if you want to put forward some other role play ideas that you would like myself and Richard to basically play out, then please email us at English to take away pod at gmail.com. And we will definitely review those suggestions and see if we can, of course, put them into the podcast like we did today with Miguel's situation, of course.
Brilliant. I think we can wrap up now, Jordan, right? It's been another
Absolutely.
really interesting episode. I hope everyone's enjoyed it. And
Yes.
yeah, take care, everyone. See you next week.
See you next week. Have a good one. Bye bye.
Cheers. Bye. Bye.